Rub my nose immediately.
I know, right? Bye.
Happy Friday!
Bye.
And it's birthday Boxing Day Friday.
We're literally
Today.
we're dragging the birthday celebrations out like all weekend.
All weekend. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to Live and Loud today, because we've got the full squad with us on Friday. Donna and Cheryl and Co TV. Live, coming at you with life lessons, life strategies, just on how to be the best version of you. And today, we're continuing the birthday celebrations, because now is your time. Was 2 yesterday. Yay! Everybody. So yeah, we just wanted to spend some time reflecting on that, because we've had so many questions since yesterday, haven't we, Cheryl? And so many comments. So we just thought today we could just do some deeper reflection, ask the guys about their take as well, and just share those insights with you, because I know a lot of you took a lot from it, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and we were focusing earlier on in the week around identity as well, just around how that's impacted us. And like, as always, Donna and I share with you our stories of how we felt at times in our lives, and we've had so much interest and comments from everyone else. We love to get the Soul Squad's take on it as well, because they've always got something valuable to share. So we're excited to be able to do that with them today. I'm just going to put my headphones in, because I think I might be getting a little bit of feedback.
Hi, Leah. Hi, Irina. It's good to have you with us, guys. And I know there's some more of you. If you're here, say hi so that we know that you're with us on any of the platforms.
So let's get to it.
Let's get into it.
We're going to get the canapes and cocktail. I mean, it's really special champagne for you today, because it's our birthday. We've actually got Dom Perignon in the guest room for you. So we're going to we'll stick with the vet and male. Joe, Thomas, you're going for the finest champagne and canapes.
Have some oysters.
Enjoy.
One day.
They can imagine. They can just pretend that they're drinking fine champagne.
Fun part.
So ladies, how are you?
Delightful. How are you guys? 2.
Yay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Out in a terrible tune.
I feel like this is like the first day of our 3rd year of business. It does sound like grown up, doesn't it? Like you're in your 3rd year of business. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you do proper grown-ups now.
Yeah, proper grown-ups. But yeah, so earlier on the week.
Amazing.
Thank you. I know you're always on our calls anyway, and in contributing and helping us out. But we were talking at the beginning of the week around wearing masks and feeling like a fraud. And Donna was like sharing the story about when you have imposter syndrome, when you are wearing the masks. Also, you don't, and you shared some of this, Mel, in the comments, but you don't want to show people the real you, because you don't like you, and you're afraid if you share the real you, people won't like you.
They'll run for the hills.
And that seemed to have like struck a chord. So what's your experiences and thoughts around that?
Go on, you go, Mel. You got a bit of a delay.
Good grief. Well, you know what? It struck me just yesterday that I'm still at work. So I had to fill a self-isol form. The first appraisal in this new job, which I started last September. And simple question, what are your strengths? And I was like, I just can't, I just feel so blocked in saying what my strengths are and being open about what my development needs are. And I'm like, can't you just put it down? What is stopping you telling us what you think you're good at? And I'm thinking, is it because she might turn around and go, really? Are you mad? You think you're good at that? You're really not. Or whether I still can't see it in myself yet. And it's frustrating me. But it might have this mask at this one about what developments. Well, I've got loads. Why can't I just be open and just say, I'm not great analytically. I need some development with this and with this. I mean, I ended up putting it down, but it was a real strain to put it down, and I kind of just tapped and then sent it. And I don't know what it is about just not being able to show up as myself at work with this one particular manager. I don't know.
Well, thank you, first of all, for sharing that with us.
It's really hard, and I don't... That's all right.
Sorry, I thought you'd finished. It's because you're on a delay, so it's hard to know. I thought
It's
there
always
was
like
a
you're
long
in China.
pause.
No, I'm good. I'm finished.
Sorry, there was a
done.
pause. I thought, oh, she's done, but it's you're on a delay. So,
Oh, it's okay.
so I was just saying thank you for sharing. Like, this is great because this is like we're sharing life lessons. This is like real life stuff that happen to lots of people all of the time.
It is.
It's that fear,
Yeah.
isn't it, of
And
being
it's really,
judged?
really, when you sit down and ask yourself, what is it? Yeah. What is that fear of being judged? What is the worst somebody else can say to you? And just for anyone, the biggest things that you said to me, Cheryl, from a neutral point of view, remove any emotion and any feeling and come at this. Even though I still found it difficult, that really helped. So anyone who's watching, that word neutral is extremely powerful when it comes to, you know, take off a mask. Maybe your first step could be just going as neutral and see how that goes for you.
Bob, thank you. And somebody's just commenting there as well, saying recommend a personal SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. For those who you don't know what that acronym stands for from the corporate world, I recommend a personal SWOT and compare the job description. And you probably, when you're doing that, are from a neutral standpoint. So that's really good, Mel. Thank you, and thanks for sharing that and being vulnerable. I appreciate that.
I think the progress with that is as well. So 6 months ago, Mel, if we asked you what your strengths were, you wouldn't know. Now you just have difficulty talking about them and sharing them with certain people. So it's still progress, and I want you to acknowledge that, because otherwise the thing where you think, oh, I haven't moved forward.
Yay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like there's some people that I'm quite intimidated by.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. And they'll ask me what I'm good at, and I'm a bit like tongue-tied because I'm quite like in awe of them and stuff. We've got one particular coach who, when I'm speaking to her, I go a bit like, oh, because I just think she's amazing. So that happens, John. So that happens to us, to all of us at some point. The difference is if you sit and go, and I absolutely have no idea what I'm good at. And then there's a difference to, I know what I'm good at, but I get to feel a bit like a dickhead talking about it, to, I know what I'm good at, but there's certain people that I find it difficult with. It's like different stages of the progress.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Mel. What about you, Yvette? What's your feelings on the masks, feeling like a fraud? You've got your imposter trampling all over you at times, haven't you?
Janice, yeah.
Janice, I love it. Poor Janice.
I feel like there's a few. I feel like in different situations there's different masks, and I think because I'm such a high vibe person, and because I fully believe in the spiritualness of being in a high vibration, and I know that the smallest little things can take you into that space. When I'm in a low vibration, I put this positivity mask on, and it's because people don't know how to react to me when I'm in a shitter. Sorry, but that's, you know, when I'm having a kick the cat day. So I put this mask on, and it's almost because I can't deal with people's responses to me when I am in a shitter, because it's like, hang on a minute, I'm Captain Positivity most of my life, and I love it, and I love that space. Can I just have a day where things are a little bit crappy? So what I tend to do is just take myself off by myself. I'll just disappear quietly, but on my own. But that's progress, because before I would have just railroaded even my own feelings, whereas now I give myself the space to kind of feel the feels, kick the cat, which that's not a thing. I'm vegan. I'm an animal rights person. Don't worry. But you know, I'm happy to do that in my own space, because I know what I need to do to tap in, and I'd rather be on my own when I'm doing that sort of thing anyway. So I feel like definitely doing the Real You program, peeling some of that back, has helped me understand the different masks and understand what to do to kind of move myself through a funk, and it's actually okay to feel like that. You don't need to be you know, chipper 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really feel like, I know when I was speaking, we had 2 one-on-one client calls yesterday, which Cheryl missed because she was busy having a tooth ripped out, unfortunately. And then in the group last night, I know a lot of the women were doing the Real You program call last night, and a lot of the girls in there and in the one-to-ones all said the same, that they'd had a real funky low energy at the beginning of the week. And I'm like, it's got to be just something to do with the moon, because everybody...
Mercury's in retrograde.
Mercury's in retrograde. I said, I'm pretty sure Yvette told me about this, but there is a lot of people who are just feeling like, and I don't know if it's just COVID exhaustion, isolation exhaustion, or just a general changing of seasons or the Mercury, but there's something in the energy that I think we really struggled with this week. And it was funny. It was like on the call yesterday, everybody was having the same response.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Thomas's comment.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you deal with it totally resonates with me, because that's what I'm like, because I'm generally very positive and on a high vibration. When I find myself, particularly like when I don't feel well, like this week having toothache, and then not yesterday but the day before having to do loads of calls, I definitely had a mask on. That was my natural self, because I was literally in excruciating pain.
Sorry, Cheryl. I don't know who it is that's saying that on YouTube, so sorry, but someone's making a very good point as well on Facebook. But sometimes people, the mask is because other people aren't comfortable when we're not wearing the mask. But I guess 2 things with that. One is sometimes that's because we're not sure they'll be comfortable without us wearing a mask, so we don't take the risk because we believe, our perception is that they're expecting the mask, so we give them the mask. We don't know. We haven't stopped and asked them and said, do you mind if I have a real shit at the day? And 2, like, why do we care so much about that? It's still that checking in and allowing ourselves space to be and just say, I'm really not, I'm just feeling a bit, today. I'm not in a bad place. I'm just a bit quieter than my normal self. And like, just expecting that people can be okay with that. I wouldn't think twice if somebody said that to me. I wouldn't think twice about it.
I always think as well, if you're that minded and you kind of go, right, I'm just going to have one of those types of days, you've got these people that sit on the sidelines that kind of know you maybe sometimes, and they'll be, got a weird fly in here, sorry, that sit on the sidelines, and I worry that I'll get sucked into other people's negativity. And that's just stupid, because I do enough protection mantras and stuff like that to know that I won't. But it's kind of like, oh my God, it's like you remember back to the time before you kind of hit your spiritual mojo. And my vision is always driving along the motorway when it was absolutely pissing down with rain, going home to a marriage that I was absolutely unhappy in, thinking, is this what my life is about?
I remember that feeling.
Properly dramatic, yeah. And I'm like, and immediately, as soon as I think, oh, negativity, I'm like, I go from 0 to extreme, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, I don't want to be dragged into that again. So I think part of it's, like you were saying, as well, how other people react.
Totally.
I think the danger with that is as well, though, if we run away from that feeling straight away, we're not really leaning into what that feeling's trying to teach us about our experience. So if we put it in a box and then we're effectively saying, I don't want to deal with that because it's negative, rather than going, that's interesting that I'm having this reaction. What is it trying to teach me? What do I need to do about it? Like, what's the guidance? Yeah. Get out as fast as you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you, though. That was so interesting, and definitely different takes on what we've been chatting about earlier on this week. So you're going into the guest room. You're going to go for Dom Perignon and canapes, caviar, oysters, and we're going to bring Joe and Thomas. I mean, I hope they can still contribute, because they're going to be so full of all the goodies that's back there in the guest room. So we'll see you in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.
Did you enjoy the lovely halftime refreshments?
I couldn't have anything. Oh.
So what about you guys then? What's your take been on the week, Joe?
The week?
Yeah, like on the masks. Was it the masks thing?
Well, I thought it would be interesting because we started then talking about intuition. We were talking around, like, tapping into your knowing when other people are telling you a certain thing, that their thoughts and their opinions and beliefs, but then there's just occasions in your life where you just know that isn't for you. then you have to follow your own path. Or on the opposite side of things, where maybe you've had a gut feeling, you haven't, you've chosen to do what other people have said, and then found out it's like the wrong thing down the line. Just anything really around that.
Yeah. I think in the past, I would kind of think, oh, I don't think I am intuitive or wouldn't really understand it. But in the past, I think I definitely knew when something wasn't right, but I would just go along with it. So it was like we've said before, living authentically. So I would go along with things, and I wasn't comfortable with it, but I was too afraid to speak out, and it was awful, you know, because it didn't sit right with me. So it just wasn't nice.
And Jo, how do you,
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this because Cheryl and I were chatting after one of the calls the other day, and we said, I wonder if people, because we talk about alignment and we're like, do you think, not everybody might know what that feels like, but that there, when you were saying, when you're going with the flow, because it's what seems like the right thing to do for everybody else, how do you know when it isn't right for you, like that out of alignment feeling, like what is that like?
Tell by her face.
Yeah, in a corporate environment, I just didn't feel good about myself. So I would sort of hear things and stuff, and I would just, you know, I would just sit on the sidelines and I wouldn't say anything, but I didn't feel right. And it's funny because now I look back and I would come home and like speak to my husband, and it was just feeling, and I'm quite an empathetic person, so it felt awful because and then what I would do is I would feel the guilt of maybe what I'd seen. So although it might have been involved, I would feel the guilt for seeing another person, and I would feel sad for them and awful for them, but I wouldn't discuss it. So I would kind of take all that home with me and have all the feelings, but not say it. And now looking back, you know, and I would actually get quite angry as well with myself for not, you know what I mean?
For not speaking up, but it didn't feel like the right thing, or you didn't feel like you were able at the time.
Yeah, or I just didn't have the confidence to do it. Because I think it depends who you're speaking to. If you've got very strong characters, or do you know what I mean? Just people who I would potentially clash with or whatever. I didn't have the bravery to do it. And the difference now is I'm not saying that I would sort of stand up and be full on, but, and I'm doing this all the time now, especially lately, is I'm able to do a bit more of a detachment. So like in my head, I'm saying, so I'm not pretending to go along with it. I'm kind of just being silent, or just kind of standing my ground and just not agreeing and not disagreeing, but not in not in an aggressive way, or just kind of having my silence and standing my ground. So inside, I'm not beating myself up about it later on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does, because you have to know which fights to choose as well. And sometimes we feel guilty just because we're not actively being, vocal about how wrong someone else's opinion is. But sometimes it's just being there and witnessing it, acknowledging that that's not your opinion, that you don't need to share it. Sometimes even, thanks for sharing your opinion. Makes it very clear that you don't share it. You know what I mean? It's going along with it, I think. And obviously, if we need to stand up for other people or whatever, but sometimes in corporate environment, like you're around people all the time that have got very varied opinions. If you think it's your job to go around putting all of them right, you'd be exhausted by lunchtime. Yeah,
it is, and it's not. Yeah, sometimes it's just not your place, and I would just hearing things, it would just affect me, me. So I would really absorb all of that, and looking back and after doing work that I've done on myself, I realised, wow, it's bloody hard work.
Mm-hmm.
I would absorb everyone else's stuff.
Take it on stuff. Mm-hmm. What about you, Thomas?
For intuition. I think one of the things that stuck out this week and the last few weeks is me knowing what jobs are right for me to apply for.
Yeah.
So I've been sent quite a lot of jobs recently by family and friends. I get the impression that I'm a bit of a chandler, as in they have no idea what I do.
Sorry, we're just laughing because we know one of the things that's being suggested.
I love that though. And I've been in that position where people just send you random jobs and go, what about this? I thought of you. And you're like, really?
Honestly, God, some of the jobs I've had through in the last couple of weeks, I've literally read them and thought, they don't know me at all, do they?
Chandler, that's it. That's your new nickname, Chandler. Babe.
That definitely, from an intuition perspective, I know what I want. I know what I want to do. So just keeping that in my head. And also, I think looking back in sort of the corporate world, I was always one analytical, and I like to have facts and data and things to make informed decisions. But I found a lot of the time, especially towards the end, all of that was pushed aside sometimes, and you really just had to feel through situations and do what you believe to be right at that present time and in that situation for the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely been a big learning. Yeah.
I think even leading on to that as well, from having had the joy of working with you, I think your intuition was always strong, but you would use your intuition to tell you where to go and look at the numbers. So you'd be like, I feel like there's a problem over there, or I feel like there's an issue, and then you would go and look at the numbers to back that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware you were doing that at the time, but you wouldn't just look at numbers for numbers' sake, even though you're analytical, but you used to do that a lot. You'd say, I feel like that's an issue, or that doesn't feel right, I'm going to go and look over there. And then you would come and tell me exactly what you thought was the issue based on from that. So actually the intuition was there at the beginning, which is interesting. Thank you.
Love that. Thank you.
Chandler. Thank you, Chandler.
Thank you, Chandler. Yeah, we were just laughing there because we know some of the things that's been suggested to you and how you felt about that. So, so I think it'd be great. We're going to get the rest of the Soul Squad back in, and we'll go around one by one. And let's just 2 years. We're going into a third year. You guys are like our biggest fans and supporters. Like you've been there with us every single step of the way, which is absolutely amazing. So let's just what's been the best moments? What have you enjoyed over the last 2 years?
Tell us how fab we are.
What's been the funny things? What's been the daft things? Your most memorable moments? What do you think?
I remember Donna messaging me. I'd not spoken to her for a while after she left Vodafone, and I remember getting this random message after messaging her, asking what she'd been up to, and she said, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to set up my own business, just completely to the point. And I thought, yeah, that's Donna.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So you hadn't heard from her for ages, and then all of a sudden she's just like,
be quiet. And I thought, oh, better check up on her.
Yeah, just being quiet. It's always a worry.
Thinking.
Yeah.
I remember that message. I think I might still have it, actually.
Probably, yeah. I love it. I love
it. For me, when I started the Real You program, I was in. Do you know what? In hindsight, I was probably in a lot more of a darker place than I was ready to admit.
Yeah.
You know, and really kind of, I felt heavy and icky, and I mean, I was doing my whole Scorpio thing, tough. You know, will not show emotion. The first discovery call, I cried, and I was like, shit. Okay, this is going to be one of those things. And then obviously working through the program, I took it so seriously, and I was in it, and I was and I was working it. And I actually think that was great to do. And then as you kind of come out the back end of the program, it was all of that stuff and all of those lessons kind of have a lap over effect. And then there was this one Friday, it was after, God, it must have been, I don't know how long ago it was. It was that Friday when you were like, oh, let's just get on Zoom for drinks. And it just devolved into sex, drugs, and rock and roll pretty much, you know. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in the right place. This is definitely the right place for me.
Just chill your boots and go with the flow.
Yeah. Fantastic. And it's just so nice to be able to be yourself and show up as I am. I've not had to put any airs and graces on or any kind of bullshit. You know,
Love that. Able to show up as I am. Love that. Love that sentence. And as you are is fucking fabulous. Pardon the French, it's Friday. I don't care. It's lunchtime. It's our birthday. We're swearing. Jo, what about you?
In case we forget as well, we're going to be in the Soul System having drinks at 6:30 even tonight. If anybody fancies it for 10 minutes, just to raise a glass to yourself, to your success, and now is your time. We'll be there at 6:30.
Jo?
For me, lots of tears all the way through, basically. And a real standout one was at one of your retreats. I don't know when that was. Last year. Yeah.
September.
Where I got up to be coached without kind of thinking it through. But I was like, and it's weird because I ended up crying in front of God knows how many strangers, blah, blah. But you know what? It's like, I'm over it now. It's like, that's what I do. And I'm not apologetic for it anymore. And I don't really think about it. And I cried on here the other week. Do you know, it's like tiny tears is mine. But yeah, it's just for me, just being honest and real and
that's amazing.
Feeling secure in, with other people in the group that I can be myself, basically.
It was actually January, the January retreat, and you were so brave because we had a room full of people and we're like, who wants to be coached? And Jo, arm went straight in the air, and like you that's made us so proud because we love you, and like we know the journey that you've come on, and for you to be there in front of all of these strangers and just have the confidence to put your hand up and be brave and vulnerable in front of the room was absolutely amazing. So that's one of our proud moments as well.
That was pure instinct though, wasn't it? Like, because when you thought about it, you went, oh, what have I just done?
I did.
Just like that's your intuition, just like
true.
Inspired action.
Amazing. Mel, what about you? Mel the Dalek.
So my standout moment was the second retreat that I went to, which was the one in January, and we did the visualization, and my desire to be a coach just came out the box. I remember standing up in front of everyone and kind of blurting out, going, I want to be a coach too. And then being really relieved you two didn't tell me off. I was so scared of saying it in front of you two. Kate went, yeah, but they're our clients, love, so back off. And you did. You just went, oh my God, that's brilliant. Well done. And then,
we don't speak to other coaches.
And then half an hour later, that's it. And then I signed up for the Real You program. Not quite that day, but I made the commitment to you, Donna, that I was going to go home. I was going to dust off the credit card that I'd never activated. I was going to activate it, and I paid up, and I just had these butterflies and this sense that life is going to be different from now on. So that really stood out, and it absolutely has been since. So
love that. Yes, we were so proud of you. Like there's billions of people on the planet. It's okay if you're a coach too.
Can I ask you, because Mel, like you're a single mom, and that was a big thing for you, wasn't it? A big commitment, putting your development and your growth on a credit card. Like that wasn't something that you were comfortable with on the Saturday, and by the Saturday night you'd sent us the details, and I was like, oh. But so like and I'm curious because it's often one of people's biggest things of God, I've never spent that much money on me, and I feel uncomfortable. And so do you regret it? Would you do it again? What's the crack?
No, I don't regret it. I would absolutely do it again, because what I've done is I've started to get rid of all the crap that's been holding me back, and I've just got this really, really strong knowing that I will get that money back. I'll get it back somehow, because by making all these improvements to myself, I'm going to be doing what I want, and somehow I just know I'll be okay. So and I had to have that strong belief before I did it, and it all happened on that day. I just thought something is looking after me, and I know I'll be okay making this investment. Plus, I can always sell. I've done the dining room table and chairs could probably go. The kids' electronics could go, and possibly black my mum's emerald ring early before she dies and flog that, so I'll be fine.
I thought you were going to actually offer to sell the kids there.
I did. I thought you were going to say the kids can go. Oh, thank you.
I
That's
really
lovely.
couldn't tell that answer went though, because to be fair, I had no idea what was going to come out your gob. So
Love that. Thank you so much for being
Thank you,
here
guys.
and sharing your stories. Next week, we're going to be focusing on boundaries. That's going to be the topic for the week. It's one of our favourite subjects. We have.
Oh my
we
God,
could like make
amazing.
that go on for the whole month because there's just so much to talk about. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. But we're going to leave you. We always leave you with something very special. So Donna, you're going to talk to them about our programme.
So as part of our birthday celebrations yesterday, we know that not everybody has been really comfortable with coming and joining a group program, being coached in public, stand up in front of a room and being coached in a retreat. And some people like to go away and do it online. And Cheryl and I shared that was the first we started our coaching business by doing an online program. So if you would prefer to get our coaching and see our coaching with our voices in the privilege of your own home without having to join a live call, that is now available to you through the Real You, the guys who are talking about it, the Real You online. And the beautiful thing is you have soul supporters for the Real You online. So you get a Facebook group for the Real You online membership community. And these beautiful faces here are the guys that are going to be in there supporting if you've got any questions. It's live now, and between now and 10 o'clock on Sunday night, you get 3 bonuses worth £1,000. You get a free masterclass on supercharging your self-confidence. You get a free, you get a complimentary access to the 10 ways to tackle your imposter syndrome for good and the work that you do for it. And you get a complimentary live coaching call on Zoom with Cheryl and I on Thursday night with your new group members. That's only available. The program is $995 at this point in time. You can pay 3 installments of $7.5. It's 12 weeks. There is about 30 modules in there or something like that to work through, plus bonus things, plus bonus masterclasses, plus meditations, and our own private rituals on how Cheryl and I find mindfulness through our daily routines are in there for you. So I'm going to put the link in there.
I've done it. I've put it.
And we'd love you to go and check out that page. If you've got any questions, come and shout and let us know, because I'm biased. You've heard it from the guys. It's the best program. If you want to really take your growth, development, expansion seriously and get self-confidence, happiness and balance, you need to check it out, guys.
Absolutely. So, yes, if you want more fun and frolics, we'll be in the Soul System 6:30 for a toast to the Now Is Your Time 2 years happy birthday celebration. Woo! And thank you, Soul Squad. We'll see you. The Soul Squad will be here again next week. And yeah, have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks,
bye from all of us. Bye.
Bye everyone.